Hey there guys, welcome to Anthony Reviews, where Anthony reviews. And today we are taking a look at the Jakks specific Samus figure from the new World of Nintendo line. Looks like they've decided to release a couple new Nintendo figures with Samus from Metroid and some Legend of Zelda figures as well based off the Breath of the Wild line. But today we are just taking a look at the Metroid Prime inspired Samus Aran, as well as doing a little bit of a comparison to their previous attempts at doing a Samus figure. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the review. As video games rose in popularity, there were people who thought that they would replace physical toys and action figures altogether. While games are still very popular, we do still see toys available in stores for a multitude of audiences. Included in those options are toys based on the very video games some feared would replace them. All of this is simply to say that it's kinda crazy that we not only have action figures of video game legends like Samus, but at this point we're getting even better ones too. Jakks Pacific has been making Nintendo toys for a few years now. While mainly making figures for Super Mario, they have managed to branch out into other Nintendo properties as well. That of course includes Metroid. While Metroid has never been the most popular video game series, it does feature a protagonist many can recognize alongside Nintendo greats like Mario and Link. It actually seems like we've entered a new age of Metroid with new games and now a new figure available at mass retail. This isn't the first time Jakks has attempted a Samus figure, however, so we will be doing a little comparison. The original figures at the time were a perfectly decent plastic representation of the intergalactic bounty hunter. A fine amount of sculpted detail as well as paints, but one would argue that the articulation and size did leave fans wanting more. When looking at the newer figure, it's easy to see how those issues become clear hurdles to jump. This Samus is taller and can get into a multitude of poses that the previous one could only dream of. With things like double jointed elbows and knees, and even butterfly joints on the shoulders, one could even question if this is supposed to be from the same line. Samus has always been depicted as a nimble action hero, whether she be in 2D or 3D. Having a figure that can get even close to some of those poses is a sight to behold. In terms of sculpt, there are a few differences. As mentioned, the obvious change to her size and mobility will inherently change the overall look, but there are differences in the little details as well. The shape of the torso is vastly different, giving this newer figure a far more slender shape instead of the thin waist and large chest of the previous one. The chest itself, in terms of design, is different as well. The original figure seemed to take more inspiration from her suit from Metroid Prime 2 and 3, while this newer figure seemed heavily based on the cover art of Metroid Prime 1. While neither is a perfect representation of either suit, it does seem like they've toned down some elements in the new figure in order to achieve this slender and articulated body. Those differences also continue into the paint job as well. While the older figure goes for a darker tone, the new one feels a lot more toyetic. It's very bright and catches the eye easily. My favorite change has to be the glowing effect that the visor has. No, the toy doesn't have an actual glow or anything, it's no electronics, but the added paint detail really gives the toy a lot of personality. While the first figure was completely serviceable in its paint and general color design, this new one really takes it up a notch. Both toys do come with essentially the same accessory, that being Samus in her Morph Ball mode. There's not a whole lot to say, if I'm being honest. What you see is what you get. A little orange ball with some detailing on here. The newer one is rightfully bigger since it comes with a bigger figure. Makes sense, right? The original figure was repainted multiple times to represent many different suits that Samus gets along through the Prime trilogy. You might recognize them if you're a fan of Super Smash Bros., of course. There's no word yet if this new mold will get the same treatment, but I don't see why not. If you were sad that you missed out on the original Samus figure, now is the time to cheer up. The new figure really is an improvement. I hope that this is a sign of things to come from Jakks Pacific regarding the Nintendo toys in the future. So there you guys go. Those were my thoughts on the brand new Samus figure from Jakks Pacific, and it is really wonderful to see them improve in such a major way. I was pretty happy with that first Samus, as you can see in the video, but it's really hard to deny just how much of an improvement this new figure is, and I hope they don't stop here. I mean, really all the Nintendo characters, but, you know, doing that suit in other colors, maybe do some other stuff, I don't know. we'll see what happens. But thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to tell me what you think of the figure down below in the comments. Subscribe for more content if you'd like. Check me out at Anthony Lantern on Instagram and Twitter. And I think that's pretty much it. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.